We must continue to invest in a strong, independent, and fair judiciary, bearing in mind that sustained economic prosperity and the long-term political stability of this nation can only be guaranteed if the rule of law reigns. Without the rule of law being held in this country, nobody will be safe, and we will all be the loser. Say no to impunity and maintain the rule of law.
Say no to impunity and maintain the rule of law. I'll get to you, DG Mweke, but first, Dunstan Omari, it appears that rule of law it sort of exists in theory, but when it comes to the practical implementation of this, especially from the political class, it's so difficult. What would the next CJ do to inspire the political class to really respect the rule of law? Because we've heard of court rulings, court orders that are never respected. Yet when a nullification of a presidential election comes, the orders are followed.
Sam, thank you very much. The rule of law and the road to justice, as provided by the jurisprudential scholars who defined what it is, have said that the rule of law is being governed by that which has been enacted by bodies accepted by the citizens, and that becomes the norm. That is definitely the rule of law. The rule of law does not mean as per Maraga. The rule of law is as per Parliament has legislated and as the way citizens have made the Constitution. Now, politicians do not operate within the rule of law because the rule of law becomes a hindrance to them. Non-compliance of court orders, which has become the hallmark of the Jubilee government. Both William Ruto, when he was still in government, and Uhuru Kenyatta,
what do you mean?
Since was in government 2013 to date. We find out that the rule of law to them curtails their freedom to do things with impunity. You have heard Speaker Elachi say that the judiciary's mistake was to give injunctions of multi-million projects that the government had brought. The rule of law demands that those projects must be sourced, must be procured, must be tendered for and awarded within the rule of law. So you are not going to tell the judiciary that because this thing is costing 10 billion, it must not be stopped. So the injunction is based on preservation of the rule of law. We are now going to a situation where the Chief Justice has warned us that the rule of law is so important to the future of this nation. Some and Kenyans know very well that the biggest person who benefits from the judicial work is the government. The number of cases filed by the DPP, the number of cases filed by the Attorney General, the number of cases filed by other entities like the TSC. For example, when the doctors go on strike, the government will dash to court to declare that thing illegal. That time, once the orders are expired, then government says the courts have done their part. But when Omari goes to court to get an injunction against a city, against government, but that is wrong. Let us not have a double standard. For the succession that is coming, the CJ has put it very clearly. His legacy was to ensure that we respect constitutionalism and the rule of law. Is the next CJ going to stand firm if the lady or the gentleman who will become the next CJ does not uphold the rule of law? We are likely to see bloodshed. We are likely to see serious contestations on the road. If you look the political class and you look the epitome of that impunity the CJ is talking about is Donald Trump. The people have spoken. The will of the people have spoken. But he still believes that he is the will of the people. We are likely to see more political people who are intolerant going forward. So let it not be the role of JSC, and I hope some members of the Judicial Service Commission are listening. You have a serious mandate of 47 million Kenyans to give us a CJ who can guide the court, who can guide the country in this coming succession. It is going to be bloody. It is politically bloody for who is going to be the next CJ.
Dunstan, did I hear you say when William Ruto was in government? What did you mean with that?
I mean, 2013, 2017, the two of them were in control of government. But you have seen now the Tanga group is isolating itself, that they were not part and parcel of this mistake that happened. When Miguna was being deported, William Ruto was still a very powerful deputy president. So we are not going to condone this way of people saying, now because I'm out, me, I'm not responsible for this.
Are you suggesting that the deputy president is no longer in government? Or what? What did you mean with that?
By conduct and implication, you'll always hear him say he is not part of it. By conduct and implication, you'll see Raila Odinga say he's now that part of government, when he's not. When you hear the president saying he's blaming other people that he was not there when those projects were being launched, let nobody run away. The buck stops on the leaders that we have elected.
Okay. All right. Let's listen to the Chief Justice so that we can hear from Deputy Governor here when he spoke on the rule, or rather, on the political war drums being beaten.
The drums of political war being beaten already. My colleagues, if you waver and do the wrong thing, and this country descends into chaos, God will never forgive you. So my urge to you is stand firm. Do the right thing. God and the people of Kenya will defend you.
All right. So as we exit from this conversation, DG Mweke, there are several questions that I want you to respond to, including, excuse me, what the next CJ must do and what the Judicial Service Commission needs to do at a time that they have recommended 41 names of different judges from Employment and Labor Relations, from Land and Environment Court, the Court of Appeal, and they have not been appointed. So what needs to happen? But also the relationship between the three arms of government, how well can it be improved for the betterment of service delivery to Kenyans?
Relationships can never be legislated. Relationships are nurtured. And I think, as my sister speaker said here, if we can let our egos down and we can understand that we all have a job to do, and the job is not our personal property. We are public servants. We work for the public. And so if we do what is good for the public, for the regular mwananchi, then I think we won't have a problem nurturing relationships between the three arms of government, because they must work together. At the end of the day, yes, we have 48 governments, 47 county, 1 national, and we have the parliament, which is the Senate and the National Assembly, and we have the judiciary. But Kenya is one. And that's what we must all agree. Our country is one, and despite which side of government we are in, opposition, or we're in government, or which arm of government we are in, we all serve the same mwananchi. And I think once we get to realize that, we'll be very, very far as a country. The next Chief Justice, first of all, I just want to congratulate retired Chief Justice Maraga, because he's done his thing. He was appointed, he's had a checkered career, and he's left a legacy. And we all agree he has left a legacy. And he has moved on, which is what all leaders should do. It reaches a point where you know your time is up, you move on, and you have to pass the baton for another leader to come in and take your place. So I just urge the JSC, Judicial Service Commission, which is responsible of finding us our next Chief Justice, that life is about progression. CJ Maraga has set the bar. We just challenge our JSC. They're properly constituted. They have people, men and women of repute, and they're an institution that we believe in. Can they just go and get us a Chief Justice who will be better and much better than CJ Maraga? Because the Kenyans are there. And if we begin to look at ability, we begin to look at experience, we begin to look at temperament, and most importantly, we begin to look at competence. Can the person do that job? Then we'll be able to find a Kenyan, and it doesn't matter what tribe they are from, a Kenyan that will do us justice, and a Kenyan that will save us from the bloodshed that the ex-CJ has
for the challenges that that CJ Maraga experienced, whether it's in terms of budgets being cut or the disrespect he felt or the rule of law not being implemented, and some saying is because of the bad blood, apparent bad blood between the head of the executive and the head of the judiciary, where do you think the problem is? And even if you had to change the CJ, does that mean that we're going now to all of a sudden realize the beauty of the three arms of government?
No, you see, like I said, you have a responsibility as an office bearer to always look at that northern star, the moral compass, to be able to judge and tell right from wrong. And good leaders always strive to do the right thing. And that's why the ex-CJ said, please, whoever comes after me, do the right thing. And he told his judicial colleagues, just do the right thing. Now, we're also saying the same to other partners in the executive and in the legislature. Even you, if you're leading the executive or you're leading the legislature, can you just do the right thing as per the people you are serving, who are the Kenyans? And that's why even our constitution in chapter 6, leadership and integrity, says to be a state officer, you must put public interest ahead of personal interest. And if we all did that, some as leaders would be in a much better country. Yeah? So I think and I believe, because Kenyans are very progressive human beings, that we have the right people in this country of ours, across all tribes and all political divides, to be able to stand up, take leadership, and do the right thing for the people of Kenya. And what the voters also need to do when they are choosing their leaders is to look at some of those capacities. Because sometimes we see our voters voting people, surely, who have proven track record of doing the wrong thing, and we still give them office. So we also have to learn as
Out of curiosity, you were once a deputy governor of the city county.
Correct.
And it also has its own arms of government.
Correct.
How often did you meet with your speaker?
At least once a week, if not at least once every 2 weeks. Because we had to harmonize the assembly and the executive. It is one government, county government of Nairobi.
Didn't that interfere with the separation of powers?
It doesn't interfere with separation of powers. We meet to sit down and discuss what is the best thing for the people of Nairobi. And not just the speaker. We used to meet with our MCAs, even used to meet with our MPs, yeah, to sit down and ask them, guys, in your areas of jurisdiction, is there anything we can do to help you? And I think that's what good leadership is. And because of that, Sam, you didn't see much wrangles in the 5 years that I was at the county, yeah, because we respected each other as leaders and we tried as much as possible. People make mistakes, but as much as possible, we tried to do the right thing for Nairobians. And if I was given a chance again, I'd do the exact same thing. Okay. Consultation, consultation, consultation on the foundation of respect.
Speaker Lachi, same question. How often, you were once a Speaker of the County Assembly of Nairobi and Governor Mike Sonko, how often are you able to hold meetings for the two arms of government?
By the way, we used to meet with Governor Sonko, but you see, the only challenge with Governor Sonko, he has, he would not trust anything you tell him. That was his only challenge. I wish he trusted, because we were doing it in trust. And I kept on telling him, it's a season God has just given you to be governor, and for me just to be speaker.
But you told him at press conferences. I'm not sure you met, did you?
No, we did. Oh, yeah, we did.
How often?
I mean, I think I met him. I was a very, a person who was also, I would let the MCAs go and meet him most of the time. I would meet him when I know there's a very critical agenda. I will meet Sonko. I will go to Upper Hill and meet him. As I said, would he trust is a question. I would wish to advise him. It's also good to trust. Have trust. Sometimes people are not there to really the personal issues that you look at, but for the good of the whole Nairobi.
Speaker, allow me to ask you this.
Yes.
You were Speaker between September 2017 and September 2020. But in between, there's a period that you are not there.
Yes.
How many times did you meet Governor Sonko?
Oh, you want me to count the times?
Specifically as the head of the county assembly and him as the head of the executive.
Oh, on an official like that? No, 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 no. It is you willingly you go and see him because you realize this we have to discuss. But I will not say that there is, because there is that one of official. Official, do governor believes in that one of official? I doubt. Even him himself, he doesn't seem to appreciate that there can be that official. Let's meet and have an official meeting with all the leadership, with Speaker, with the governor, and come out with concrete whatever. I'll say no.
So you didn't at all?
No, no, no. Thousands of official, no. But going now yourself, you realize this is a moment you need to talk.
Okay.
I would walk, we'll go there, and we will discuss. But I think that is his
it
style of leadership.
It doesn't appear any different from what CJ Maraga may have experienced.
I know.
Seeking for appointment.
I know, but you see, for me, Elachi, I don't think I would, it is difficult to come out and say, we are not meeting with Governor Sonko. He will come out and say something else that you will wonder, what the hell did I just say? I'm sorry to use that word. But, I mean, that is him. Everyone has a different style of leadership. So the day you learn that style of leadership, I think you walk in that journey with that. And I think that's what I did.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. Dancel Mari, what are your thoughts? I see you smiling from time to time. What is it about?
I'm only seeing the two politicians, one a DG and another one a speaker, saying the way it is, and that is how it should be. My interest, Sam, is this. This country belongs to us. It does not belong to politicians.
Correct.
This country belongs to every child born today who is going to pay loans that we have inherited, which we were never consulted. Am I every citizen to demand for transparency based and accountability based on Article 10? For the CJ, he has gone, he's retiring to his village in Bosose in Nyamira, and I'm very sure, and I'm urging Sam, if he's not listening, look for him and tell him that the people of Nyamira, and especially the new governor, Amos Nyaribo, needs to consult him. He should not go to oblivion. He should not walk away and go and stay in Nakuru and forget about his people in Nyamira. And internationally, I'm very sure that the CJ should look for a job at the international judicial organs so that we have such people as our exports to the international world. The International Criminal Court of Justice, we have very many other courts.
That's not Mari.
For the drug war.
Yeah.
For the drums of war, the politicians, Kenyans be alive to the reality that the politicians, let me use this word, will metamorphose to attract our emotions. Let us not vote, as Mweke says, based on euphoria. Let us vote based on issues. Let us look at this country, that the founding fathers of this nation, who are no longer there, laid a very strong foundation. Midway, our age group and the old age group has decided to digress away, move away from the country that is based on the rule of law.
Okay.
Some, the media where you are represented, you are doing a fantastic job. We want you to uncover. We want you to set the pace, set the agenda for the nation. Let the politicians not set the agenda for this country.
Very interesting that you should say that. But earlier on, you were giving me a very difficult assignment. You're telling me to talk to the CJ and tell him that the Nyamira government needs him. I mean, Omari, he's your client. I'm sure you can ring him and tell him, won't you?
No, I'll call him just now and tell him that the Nyamira government that is very new needs his advice. But he's listening. I know him. He listens to you every other time. Let me tell you, let me confide that he's one of your greatest fans and a great fan of the TV station Citizen. That aside, he has a heart, we need him service, and he should also write a book to leave us, to leave a history, so that Kenyans know. Remember Charles John wrote a book to leave the history, to tell us what happened. We will want to understand what was happening in the kitchen of the CJ and the kitchen of State House for the last 4 years.
Okay, I want us to transition to the next conversation, that is to do with